Ladies and gentlemen, now it's too late with Alan Mosley.
Yeah. Everybody come on in. Grab your snacks. Grab a seat. I see we've already got people in chat. People were here early this week, Dave, which is usually people don't get here till like the meme of the week.
Yeah.
And they miss the monologue, which is the only good part of the show. Anyway, hey everybody. Welcome back for another episode of It's Too Late. I am your host, Alan Mosley, joined as always by the number one producer in late night. It's Dave Willimowski. Dave! How are you doing, buddy?
I have adrenaline like coursing through my system right now. I'm so fired up.
Oh, you pumped?
And scared. Yeah, I'm pumped.
Mostly
it's scared, but mostly pumped.
So what you're saying is your fight or flight reflex is...
Yeah, it's kind of, you got me all worked up. Hey, I see you're still going with the beard there.
Yeah. Well, I started off not necessarily wanting to do the no shave November thing. I wasn't going to do the other November thing,
No.
I ruined that during the intro video, but I figured we're this far in, so I might as well just keep it going to the end of November and just see what happens. The only thing I don't like about it is, you ever seen that movie, The Santa Claus, with Tim Allen, where he's really freaking out because he's turning into Santa Claus, so he shaves and he's looking good, and then poof, he turns right back into Santa Claus.
Yeah,
that's happening to me in real time. Look at it; it's all just turning white. Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm gonna shave, and then I'll wake up the next day, and I'll be like Tim Allen in the Santa Claus and freak out. I wonder if I'll have all of his
the pre-show. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if I'll have all of his cocaine like Tim Allen does.
Oh.
Boy, everybody is talking about comedian Dave Chappelle, who just had his second appearance on Saturday Night Live. First time hosting since his controversial statements on transgenderism. But move aside, groomers, because this time Dave took on an even more stunning and more brave demographic. Take a look. Dave, do you have any prepared statements you want to make before we continue tonight's monologue?
I don't think I was prepared. No.
Yeah, I actually specifically enunciated your name when I introduced you because you're on the deck of the Titanic now, buddy. This is it. We're going down together. I actually want to stick a pin in that for just a moment. We'll come back. I want to talk a little bit about this whole FTX scandal that's rocking the crypto world. Take a look at this. This is an article written by our friend and former guest on this very show, Jeffrey Tucker, who wrote FTX, the Democrats' money laundering operation. Keep your funds in your possession, the old guard has been screaming for 10 years. Use the exchanges as necessary, but remember, they're not magic money-making machines. And yet here we are, with another meltdown of magic money-making machines. The eye-popping mess of FTX and its valorized founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, is turning out to be one for the ages. From zero to 32 billion and back to zero again. Dave, You got 32 billion to lose?
No, I'd like to. Yeah.
In a mere 3 years, I could lose 32 billion. It's impossible for those of us fascinated by the sector to stop digging and looking. But where to begin? There were the loving interviews on TV and the fancy conferences in the Bahamas with guests such as Bill Clinton and Tony Blair, including one in April this very year, during which time Bankman-Fried was working to become the second largest donor to the Democrat Party in the midterms. There's a strange relationship that FTX had with the Ukrainian government, which used the exchange as a depository of funds. This was well enough known that Bankman-Fried actually bragged about it. Then FTX became a huge donor to the Democratic National Committee, the DNC. How convenient. This Ukrainian FTX-DNC relationship would normally be all over the headlines as worthy of a deep look, especially with the midterm timing. The wild passion of the Biden administration to funnel as much money as it could to Ukraine at a time when Americans are suffering from high inflation, and the murky world of crypto financing that bypasses normal banking channels. But so far, on the relationship between the DNC and FTX via Ukraine, we've seen only intrepid sleuths on Twitter on the case. There are other strange signs, such as how FTX was founded just following the announcement in 2019 that Biden would run for president, and that Bankman-Fried's own mother was the co-founder of Mind the Gap PAC. its sole purpose to be funding Democratic campaigns. In addition, Bankman-Fried's brother, Gabe Bankman-Fried, started a pandemic company called Guarding Against Pandemics, the purpose of which was to, quote, support the $30 billion that the Biden administration allocated during pandemic planning. Additionally, there's Alameda Research, which served as the investment arm and eventual destination of billions in customer funds from FTX, a practice that violated every best practice of the crypto world, which favors 100% reserves. There were the high-profile endorsements, such as Tom Brady and Katy Perry, the named stadium down in Miami, the claims in the financial press that he would be the first trillionaire, and $2 billion in funding from Sequoia Capital and the Super Bowl ads featuring Larry David. It's all just incredibly shocking. The ties, the trickery, the scamming, the dark money, the ruling class ties, the fake organizations, the ridiculous celebration of who in retrospect is an obvious fraud. Along with the silly children the fake man had tapped to pretend to be the C-suite of FTX's sister company. What a symbol of our times. By the way, I want to take a quick pause right there from Tucker's articles. Tucker, being a classy guy, didn't actually get into the sexual tension of alleged orgies in a luxury flat in the Bahamas involving Bankman-Fried and one Caroline Ellison, seen here.
Oh, my.
This is the ideal female form. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. Yeah. That's $1 billion pussy, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Helpfully, the decline and rapid fall of FTX waited until 2 days following the midterms that his company funded. Now, you can just imagine the trepidation that exists throughout the Democratic Party machine. It compares only to the terror that mainstream media felt when it became obvious that the product of the top advertiser Pfizer didn't work as promised despite being forced on billions of people worldwide. If you were not a cynic before, this one surely clinches the deal. It's a racket, the whole darn machine. He's such a classy guy, Tucker, that he said darn instead of damn. I like that. So let's circle back really quick to They Who Shall Not Be Named from the top of the night's monologue. I want you to take a look at this meme right here that the Libertarian Party Twitter account shared, but later deleted due to outrage. The meme depicts the alleged money laundering operation involving the DNC and Biden administration, Ukrainian President Zelensky there in the top right, and FTX in the bottom. Of course, all of the usual leftist suspects, the bleeding heart liberal blue checks on Twitter, and the Jewish organizations such as Stop Anti-Semitism and the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, condemned this depiction due to the hand-wringing caricature of Bankman-Fried, which is, of course, synonymous with The Happy Merchant, a popular anti-Semitic cartoon that portrays Jews as dishonest shysters. Because, of course, that wouldn't apply to Bankman-Fried, am I right? Imagine all of the right-wingers who had their money on FTX looking up their balance today and saying, God damn, I donated to John Fetterman. And finally this evening, in foreign policy news, a possible escalation from Eastern Europe as Russian-made missiles fell in the eastern part of Poland, killing 2 people. While Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky decried the strike as a, quote, very significant escalation of the war, U.S. President Joe Biden said that it's unlikely that the missiles were fired from Russia. But good news, everyone, because the world's most favorite investigators are on the scene. That's right, it's the Polish. Hey, Dave. Yeah. How many Polacks does it take to identify a missile strike?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Well, according to the article, definitely more than 2.
Oh, yes.
No, it's our audience is classy. They won't laugh at dead.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of Ukrainian President Zelensky, here's a couple of statements he made, knowing full well that it was actually Ukraine responsible for those Polish deaths. Take a look right here. RF, the Russian Federation, kills wherever it can reach. Today, it arrived in Poland. This attack on collective security in the Euro-Atlantic region is an escalation. People died. My condolences to my brothers and sisters in Poland. Ukraine is always with you. Russian terror must be stopped. Solidarity is our strength. Followed by, had a call with Polish President Andrzej Duda. Duda. Expressed condolences over the death of Polish citizens from Russian missile terror. We exchanged available information and are clarifying all the facts. Ukraine, Poland, all of Europe, and the world must be fully protected from terrorist Russia. Of course, the corporate press was quick to update the narrative, weren't they? Listen, plebs. Look, it was indeed Ukraine that fired the missiles, but don't blame them. You see, they were just firing missiles trying to shoot down Russian missiles that accidentally missed and killed some people in Poland. So really, this is still Russia's fault. It can't be that the Ukrainians bear any responsibility or we're trying to set up a false flag attack to escalate the war. No, not the Ukrainians. They're the good guys. So this goes back to what I say all the time on the show. Lying liars lie. The corporate press are known, objectively proven liars, which means when you even scratch the surface for a moment, this is what you find out about them.
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. Not this time. It never happened. It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened. No way. We got you. Not a chance.
We
Not
got
this
you.
time. It never happened. It never happened. We made this one up. It's fiction. We made up this one. We made it up.
Wow.
Not this time. Wrong. Not this time. Not this time. You're wrong. Not this time. It never happened.
Wow.
Not this time.
That was a lot.
You're wrong.
It never happened.
So to bring this all full circle here, because I know we covered a lot of ground, the LP shouldn't have deleted that tweet. You know why? Because you should never cave in to the mob.
Mhm.
You fail to prove your point when you give in like that. But we all know why they did give in, don't we? And it wasn't because of pressure from the DNC, and it wasn't because of Ukraine. You see, it's perfectly fine for you to call all the people in flyover country Nazis and racists. Just like it's perfectly normal to actively cheer for World War III and hope more Russians die. Just like it was perfectly fine to laugh at the Polak jokes earlier in this very monologue. Because you see, my friends, some whites are whiter than others.